In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 very common gardening mistakes that I see frequently and how to avoid them and why to avoid them. We'll be looking in detail at what not to do in 2023. I'm John Valentino of John & Bob's Corporation, and I'm a landscape architect and a landscape contractor. And Chip Valentino is my consultant. He's really sharp at picking out gardening mistakes. So we have him here in this video, and he's identified his 5 most egregious errors that he's seen throughout 2022. Tip number 1, don't limit yourself to useless landscapes and or gardens. And by that I mean, let's think creatively about our outdoor spaces and how we use them and how we landscape them so that they really do improve our lives. Frequently I see landscapes and gardens that are useless. You know, there's no thought put towards making it be an important part of your everyday life. So I see that it has a western exposure, but there's no attempt to shade the western sun. I see that everything is based on ornamentation. All the decisions made are only visual ones. What we'd like to do is come up with ways of making it important from a use standpoint and then making that visually attractive. One of my favorite ways is to use plants in useful ways. One of my favorite ways to do that is with espaliering different kinds of fruit trees. You can see these citrus, which are espaliered on a simple landscape fence here with welded wire mesh. You can use all kinds of citrus. You can use limes, lemons, grapefruit. It's very simple, very attractive, very useful. So in addition to planting, there's a whole range of other ways. You can plant trees that shade the west and southern side of your house. You can plant plants that don't require a lot of water. You can plant vegetable gardens or kitchen gardens or a herb garden, a meditation garden, and you can make useful spaces that you can sit in. Much of that depends on you and how you use a garden and how you live and what would be most useful to you. Tip number 2. Don't change your potting soil every year. And this is what I might call a garden myth. It's one that many garden centers promote because it's thought that if you are growing things in pots that mine the soil leaches very dramatically. But I like to use ways of enriching that soil so that you don't need to. And it's a lot of expense and a lot of work to be changing potting soil all the time in containers. We infuse that soil with life on an annual and maybe even semi-annual basis with our products like Blend and our Penetrate Liquid Biotiller. So by having this light soil in pots that is constantly rejuvenated with not only nutrients, but beneficial bacteria, good fungi, protozoa, and all kinds of life in the soil, then we are able to have soil that doesn't need to be replaced. It might need to be topped off now and then because you will get some settling. Tip number 3, don't dispose of your grass clippings. Grass clippings are a tremendous resource. They can feed our lawns. They make it so you have to apply a lot less nitrogen. They're good for lawns in every way. The best way to use grass clippings is if you have a mulching mower. And a mulching mower then cuts the grass up in a way that it's actually a nice, kind of like a compost for your lawn. Now, mulching mowers aren't effective if you haven't mowed for 3 weeks or something and you've just got too much lawn. You can cause damage, but if you're mowing regularly, you don't have a huge amount of cuttings, mulching mower is fantastic, and using that in your lawn is an excellent way for ongoing fertilization, ongoing improvement of your soil. Now the other thing you can do if you do collect them but don't dispose of them is you can use them to make a good quality compost. But that is a lot of work. That's really what our whole product line is about, is kind of avoiding having to do that. If you're in a hurry and you don't want to make compost, you can use our products, which are concentrated compost, and you can just do some mulching mowing on your lawn, and all that's excellent for your soil, excellent for your lawn. Don't do this. Number 4, don't add sugar to your tomato plants to make your tomatoes sweeter. That will not work, even though it sounds like an interesting concept. Don't do it. It's a waste of sugar, and you should be focused on other things that will make your tomatoes sweeter. Probably the best way to have really sweet tomatoes is to plant the sweetest varieties. And there is a correlation between the size of the tomatoes and the sweetness. Usually the smaller varieties of tomatoes are the sweetest ones, or have the capability of being the sweetest ones. So that's kind of the first thing. The next is to maximize the health of your soil. Just like healthy soil full of life maximizes bloom and fertility and productivity of soil, it also maximizes the nutrient content and the sugar content in all kinds of vegetables and fruits, including tomatoes. By infusing that soil with life, that's how we're growing tomatoes that have the best flavor and have the most sugar. Tip number 5, don't add synthetic fertilizer to the whole when planting or transplanting. That's an extremely common practice, and there's a couple problems with it. One is you create this concentrated area with nutrients, and then the plants and the roots of the new plants don't have a need to go outside of that hole, and that's exactly what we want to happen. We want those roots to have to go outside of that hole to be well anchored and well fed and to go into the native soil. So just putting synthetic nutrients there is a bad idea. Very young roots can be damaged by synthetic fertilizer, can be burned easily. So what we do is we use products that build the soil in the plant hole. We're trying to build life in the soil, and that's about the only thing we use when we do planting and when plants are young and in these planting holes. So help me, I'm trying to think of the word that I'm searching for. When you use something as a way of building life, I've used it before on videos, and it's perfect. It describes exactly what I'm thinking, but when I tell you, you're going to say, oh yeah. So hopefully those tips of what not to do in 2023 are helpful, and if they are, please like our video and compliment Chip on his excellent work. He picked most of these out himself. Let's say bacteria to build more life. You're using that bacteria as what?
Booster.
Yeah,
inspiration.
but it's more technical than that. Maybe it'll come to me if we keep going. Now we're really losing the sun.